Oh, we're live. Hey everybody, my name is George Paredes and I'm honored to have Mr. I call him the man with two first names, Mr. Victor Adam from Kansas City, Missouri. He is even though he doesn't look like a baby, but he's a baby gator lender interested in pursuing real estate by, lending certain amounts of money, and he's going to share with us his journey before being a lender, and obviously he's into health and wellness, and he also, I believe, it's into a little bit of telecommunications. So with that said, I'm just gonna let him take over and just have fun with this, guys. And yeah, Victor, like I said, appreciate you allowing me this time. And would you basically tell us a little bit about yourself?
Of course, yeah. Happy to be here, and thanks for having me. Yeah, like you said, um, I'm from Kansas City,
Oh,
newer to the
Chiefs.
real estate investment game. Yep, Chiefs. They just played the first game yesterday. I think everybody was people were wearing their jerseys starting on Monday,
Okay.
like a week-long celebration for the kickoff. Man, everybody's going nuts. But yeah, so I've been out here pretty much my whole life, and currently the stuff that brings in the pays the bills is I've been in the nutrition, health, fitness, wellness game basically since 2010, and got currently doing corporate uh, coaching, corporate programs for corporations with people over more than 100 clients or employees on their business, and then the other business that I own is a structured cabling company. So we do brand new builds and upgrades for any kind of wireless or any kind of networking issues. So fiber installs, pulling the cable to your Wi-Fi, for your Wi-Fi, all that kind of thing. So those are the two things that I'm doing currently that brings in the bills. And I'm starting to learn the real estate side of things to have something to do with that money that I'm bringing in and start really amplifying what what all this work and elbow grease is allowing me to play with. So I started out with the Gator thing. I started out in April, I believe, is when I joined and went through the program. So I've been a part of it for a few months now, gone through most of the information, um, and always a part of the updated Zooms, and like they've got hard money. Zooms coming out, and been a part of that from the start. And the only thing I haven't really done is I've been gotten close to doing a couple deals, but they've never like gone through. So still haven't knocked anything out of not knocked anything out of the park yet on paper, but other than that,
Gotcha.
it's got the ball rolling.
Okay. Well, I mean, me neither, Victor. Obviously, I've been learning also on my end as far as being a real estate investor and a sub two student of, first of all, getting over the mindset that you're able to, and knowing people like yourself that have access to the money, to where what else is stopping me from having that conversation and learning how to really get to figure out the person's problem, whether it be on market with the agent or off market with a seller. Just understanding what problem are here to solve, and like how much is it that you need, and then just being around people like yourself that are starting off, but eventually you're gonna know more and more as you learn through each transaction, as well with me on the real estate side. But yeah, I guess my first question would be Victor, and thank you for the introduction, by the way. As far as being in the Gator program since April, what are your how can I ask this? What were your expectations coming in, and how are they now? And what do you look for moving forward?
Yeah, so it's a very interesting program. So of course when you're joining these kinds of things, there's usually some kind of basically hype video that gets you in, and something you see, it's like, oh man, it seems awesome. And especially if you've joined something like that before, you know that there's probably going to be a bit more to it to really get what you're looking for.
Right.
So, yeah, so the Gator program is really kind of sold on the hey, loan out 2 to 5 grand on EMD to a wholesaler or whatever, and potentially double that money back within a few days. Do that on repeat, uh, which is definitely doable, but the caveat to it is it's that's the low hanging fruit. And
Right.
so it's a lot like being a wholesaler. There's a ton of competition,
Yes.
and you either got to be really, really good with networking and bringing those relationships in so you have those opportunities, or you have to just have that network already. And I'm the exact opposite. It's also part of why I joined this or am a part of this project forward is networking has always been my biggest weakness. I've always
Ooh.
been that kind of person where I'm like, if someone needs me, they'll come talk to me. Otherwise, I'm not going to bother anybody.
Right.
I had like 10 friends on Facebook for like the first 30 years of my life. Like, but I just, yeah, you want to talk to me, come talk to me. Otherwise,
Right.
I'll see you later. So that's all. And then, now as I've grown up and now really trying to uh, really build a wealth and legacy and things like that,
Mhm.
multiple businesses and stuff. It's like shooting myself in both feet, and kneecapping myself. So that's
Gotcha.
what I'm trying to overcome. And but yes, so as far as the gator thing goes, it's like uh, that low hanging fruit is almost not even worth it for where I'm at in business because
Hmm.
I'm making enough money through these other companies to where spending all that time trying to network for these small transactions and a couple grand here, a few grand there, uh, just isn't worth the time that it takes away from my other businesses. Uh,
Right.
but the
Okay.
benefit is all this extra stuff that he's bringing in. So that he calls that the EMD stuff Gator 1.0. Then there's 2, 3, 4, 5.0. Some of that's not been released yet. I think we're technically on 3.0, if I remember right. But
Okay.
basically, now we've got a hard money lender that we can white label and basically say is, that's our hard money when it's basically just a referral, process. But they're letting us white label a hard money lender who's been in the game for about 20 years. And they're actually coming in and teaching us the ins and outs of hard money in and of itself. So like we have people and the coordinators and the people who are vetting all these things before they approve the loans and all the loan officers, actually teaching us, what they're looking for, the specifics behind what, how things qualify and all that. So just all this behind the scenes stuff with hard money and just general real estate, financing and stuff like that, which is fascinating and definitely, well beyond just like the basic side of loaning out for EMD. So that's really where some of this value start to kick in for me.
Okay. Man, sounds like you're like I said, very hip on the what I may be the opposite to where I love networking, I love being cheerful and meeting other people. But if we were to trade places and I took your spot, like, oh crap, I don't know nothing about business and I'm still learning that. But I love reaching out to people and I do follow somebody, Victor, but I don't know if you're familiar with Henry Ford, to where he says you don't have to be the smartest person in the room. It's just about treating people right and putting them in the right place and letting them shine, and they'll do anything for you. And I believe that, and it's just also me learning the business side as well. Like you're saying, wholesaling is the low hanging fruit. There's competition, but it's also learning to get those skills and adding a little bit of yourself. Like, how can I be different from the rest? And
Right,
how can I separate myself? And learning the gator side is very interesting to me as well, because when it comes to talking to that seller, figuring out the problem, and then when it comes down to the money, it's like, wow, I can really, we can agree at this price, these amount of days, but then learning how to use somebody like yourself to where like, wow, Victor got he can lend me $5,000, because coming in you don't have no money and you feel kind of funny just dropping off that $100 EMD, to where if you're a property owner, like, what's this, I don't want $100, you're gonna waste my time. To
right,
where
right,
it's building a relationship with somebody like yourself, like, hey Victor, loan me $5,000 for this EMD, and I'm gonna get an assignment fee. What? And I love that part about it, is negotiating with you. If you're gonna lend me $5,000 for 30 to 45 days, what are you expecting to come back with? I mean, how much would you want from it? And it could be like, George, I don't know who the H you are. I want double that. I want 5,000 plus 5,000, and I'm happy to where, George, I like you. I just give me 2,000 on top of that. We'll call it even. Like, okay, cool, and go from there. And I'm thinking that that's how it works. Is that what you're thinking how it works, Victor? As far as coming in, and obviously, like say for you, it may be small change for you, but eventually you want to get to the upper echelons, like the 2.0, the 3.0, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, no, I mean that's you explained it pretty well. That's exactly how the basic structure for the E&D stuff works, and yeah, that is both the awkward and the fun part on both sides, right? Because it's like to a certain degree when you're negotiating these things, it's like, man, I'm doubling my money here. It just sometimes feels greedy, right? It's like it's just like
Right.
making that ask can be hard, but that's business, right?
Yes,
so
yes, business.
so really the general rule for Gators is you need to find out what the assignment fee is, which you will because you have to do a JV agreement uh, to basically make sure you have rights to get your money
Right,
when the deal closes. And so, when you JV, you're going to see all that one way or another. So, anyway, the general rule is you never want to take more than 50% of whatever the assignment is. And
okay,
50% is generally like our first deal together, or if it's like huge margins or something like that. But to the same degree, it's like if I loan you 10K and this is a huge margin deal for you, and let's say you're making 30 on it,
right,
like if I loan you 10, I'm not going to ask for 15K back. Like it's
right,
like doubling my money is plenty. So yeah,
right,
so there's a lot of variables there and stuff. But yeah, obviously the more margin you have to play with, the more comfortable everybody's going to be. But yeah, when you have those real tight deals, and it's like, well, uh, can you afford to give me anything
right,
back? Right? Like, it's you got to make some money here for this to be worth your time, right? Like, it's
right,
because yeah, it's funny, like wholesalers, a lot of them are just getting into it, right? And so they just want to get a deal done.
right.
Uh, so they'll just take whatever they can get, and some of them it's like they take it at a loss just to get a deal done. It's like, I mean,
True.
you can do that. Is that really helping you? I don't know. Kind of rolling the dice, man. I hope those connections you made were good.
True, true. That's true, Victor. And I'm currently battling that with like when I am asking or how am I positioning myself for an assignment fee. Is this too much? Is this too little? But learning that it's a people business at the end of the day, because the person, aside from somebody like yourself that could be borrowing for a transitional lending, it's the end buyer. They're the one taking the risk. They're the ones finding the money to put into this property. And if I'm making $50,000 off an assignment fee, and like you said, all they're making is 10K, that doesn't make sense. And at the end of the day, they probably won't want to do business with me no more. And so it took me a while to understand that it's about service. It's okay. Um, if I can get 5K and you can end up with 40, 30, something like that, and you're happy, you're gonna want to come back to me. And that's the whole
Right.
point,
Yeah.
having that those relationships.
Yeah. You can be a shark, but um, if when people find out, people stay away from sharks. So
Yes.
yeah, it's definitely about the long game, and you can definitely even inadvertently, if things aren't clear enough, or just by not communicating well enough, what's actually going on, end up ending something that could have been a good long-term relationship. So that's something you always have to be aware with in any business transaction, right? So
Right. Okay. Well, I guess I've been noticing other than being handsome, Mr. Victor, and I know you're doing the wellness. It seems like how do you relate staying in shape with running a business?
it is, especially as I slowly get older, or especially now that I'm am working with employees and stuff like that on, especially like on the sites where I'm doing the installs and things like that.
Right.
Um, is how much being healthy helps you do, especially if what you're doing isn't a desk job. If you're doing a desk job, I mean, it's going to help obviously in various other ways, as far as just your ability to perform well, be alert, focused, not feel drained while you're at work. And then when you go home, you'll have some energy to do what you want at home as well versus just being tired and not feeling like doing anything after work. But
Right.
especially when you have a physical job, man, I can go and work a full 12-hour day, do laps around these other people I'm working with, and then go home, work out, and it's like, and then do it the next day while everybody else is beat up and fried.
Right.
So yeah, it makes a huge difference, especially when you, especially if what you're doing is physical in any way. You know?
Okay. Interesting. And I'm slowly implementing that too, Victor. It is it starts from within. It was like having that clear mind, and I'm noticing I'm adding cardio to my I guess regimen. And
Yeah.
it is because I last week I went to what they call a mud run
Oh yeah, yeah.
to where
Which
I was
one did you do?
huh?
Which one did you do?
I guess they call it the I'm not sure the name of it, the mud dash here in Houston. It
Okay,
was
yeah, they got like three or four of them that at least have pretty well known names. Like we got the Spartan, the
mhm.
Mud Run, Tough Mudder. I think Tough Mudder was like the one of the original ones. But
Okay. I think there was the middle one, the mud run. It was a couple of my real estate buddies invited me last minute, and I'm like, okay. And
nice.
so
Yeah, that's
one of my
awesome little networking thing.
yeah. But the funny thing, Victor, was one of my army buddies was like, George, you know you gotta be in shape for that. Like, nah, I just like jog and like nah, it was brutal after that, Victor. I remember I think I was trying to go on Amazon and trying to get a wheelchair because I thought I needed one. But
You got to
aside
grind.
from aside from the physical part, Victor, it was like you mentioned, networking. I got to know some of my real estate buddies a little better and talk about mindset and stuff like that. So it was very I wouldn't say life changing, but I enjoyed it because I got to get to know them a little bit better and
Nice.
understand how we can do business together in the near future.
Yeah.
Yeah, but man, it was a pleasure speaking with you, Victor, out of Kansas City. As far as me trying to do,
I
you are,
thought
yeah,
I was. Oh, my bad.
no problem, no problem. As far as me trying to, maybe do some transaction with you, how can I help you as far as getting more exposure with being a gator lender?
Absolutely. I mean, you're always welcome to keep me in mind for the EMD stuff. That ever becomes something that you need.
Mhm.
Uh, but we also have the hard money stuff that we have access to. So that includes everything from DSCR loans to fix and flip funding, and even new construction. So we have a whole bunch of different ways we can help out, uh, just depending on the scenario and things like that. So
Okay. And what I'll do on my side, Victor, is because I believe Pace wants us to share this within our groups. You being in the Gator and I'm me being in sub two, where I can share that with my community to where Victor, aside up from being handsome, I think he's got a lot of money, to lend out. So if you're in the Kansas City area and you're needing a Gator lender, reach out to him and I'll be able to share which ways would be best to contact you, Victor, if that were the case as far as lending opportunities?
yeah, yeah, I appreciate that. There's a few different ways. You can always reach out to me in the groups. I've got my business is called Axiom Investing.
Okay.
So you can reach me, Victor at axiominvesting.us, or at the same website as well, axiominvesting.us. And that'll give you all the details on all the lending stuff. And you can also reach out to me directly through there as well. So
Okay. What I'll do after this, I guess I don't know how good I'll edit, because I don't know how to do that part. But as far as once I put this in my YouTube, I'll share that information and make sure I edit to the description, Victor, so people can reach out to you, for lending opportunities or fellow sub two students that are in your market that you can get to know and obviously make the networking part easier because now they kind
sounds
of
good.
they won't be intimidated by you. Now they got to know you a little bit better and
Yeah,
see what
yeah,
business we can do.
awesome. Yeah, I appreciate that.
All right. Well, like I say, thank you, Victor, for your time, and I'll make sure I put this out there and let everybody know what you do and how you can be of service at the end of the day. And if they need any help in other within your other business ventures as well, it could be a possibility that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Victor. Well, thank you for your time, and I'm sure this won't be our last time.
Yeah, definitely not. Thank you. I appreciate it. It was a good time.
All right. Cool, cool.